And good morning world. It's 10 to 9 in the morning on the 23rd of October 2014. It's an eclipse today, but yesterday was pretty manic. 9:52 a.m. Ottawa time, something like 14:52 UK time, the shooting started, the outrage in Ottawa. And I did comment on it yesterday. I did do a quick video on it as soon as I was aware it was happening, because I was talking with one or two other astrologers, and we put the horoscope, we got the time of the first shooting, 9:52 a.m. So we put a horoscope up, and it really sent off alarm bells. Algol was setting, Saturn was rising, Pluto, the ruler of the ascendant, was deep, Scorpio rising. Straight away, we're never going to find out the total truth about what happened yesterday. It will be both buried in the unconscious and subconscious and forgotten about. It will be occluded and hidden, and there will be barriers against truth coming up. Add to this that at the moment of the shooting, the moon in the sky was exactly opposite Uranus, 1/4 degree, and it was also conjunct the star Algorab. Thank you, Northern Starlight, for pointing this out to me. Talking on a forum with some Croatian astrologers, it's pretty clear that a decade or so ago, there's a group of astrologers in Europe who started associating Algorab with terrorism. The fact that Algorab sits at 13 degrees of Libra, opposite Aries at opposite Uranus at 13 Aries, with Pluto at 11 Capricorn in a big T-square, also made me look, because the Saturn-Neptune conjunction of 1989, which was basically the precursor of the internet, but did set out a lot of political reform across the world, also was at 11 to 13 degrees of the cardinal sign. So there's definitely a link astrologically between last night or yesterday and 1989. We're never going to find the truth out on this. Add to this that today there's an eclipse. As I speak, the sun is at 29.75 degrees of Libra. Venus is at 29.5 degrees of Libra. The moon is currently at 23 degrees of Libra and approaching fast. But then it's all going to happen fast. The sun will move into Scorpio, Venus will move into Scorpio, the moon will move into Scorpio, and then the moon will hit Venus and the sun, and the whole thing is going to take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes later tonight. So it's going to be a pretty, there's going to be a lot of hot words today. There's going to be a lot of, not so much headless chicken, but irrational anger, and there's going to be a lot of uncertainty and not knowing. Look, it's an eclipse, it's a partial eclipse, although the strongest point of the eclipse happens to be over Canada. It's an eclipse and it's Mercury retrograde for another 2.5 days, although shadow will continue. But all of this is the start of the end, if you like, astrologically speaking. This is all going to build now, and over the coming 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be a ramping up of tension, pressure, stress, blah blah blah. None of it coming from individuals, all of it coming from outside, whether it be corporates, governments, media. This is in the run-up to 11/11. It just so happens that UK time GMT around about 11:30 at night on the day before, but most places on 11/11 there will be a conjunction of Mars and Pluto at 11 degrees of Capricorn. And I have to say, I'm not very optimistic about this. I do feel that there's going to be further, I say outrage, that's too generic a word. With Mars conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, and the eclipses coming up before with all the scorpionic stuff, I do think there's going to be 1 or 2 targeted operations happening over the coming 2 or 3 weeks, and I've already made my thoughts clear on whom I think is most likely at risk, or which establishment figures are most at risk. It's going to be an interesting next 2 weeks, and then do you know what? After the 11th of November, it's like, right, it's done. And then I've looked forward, and a number of others have looked forward as well. And yeah, there's a brief week at the start of March next year with the new moon conjunct Uranus, followed by Mars conjunct Uranus, all very close together. But that's like the last shockwave. This next 2 weeks is the end of a kind of period of astrological extremism that's been brewing for the last 2 years, and it's now at peak. So don't care what's going on outside you. I don't care what's happening in your personal life, your private life, your public life. At the moment, the worst thing you can do both for yourself and for the planet is the headless chicken. Stay stable, stay sane, don't buy into the hype and spin. The world is mad at the moment. Another 72 hours, it'll slightly return to a semblance of sanity. But for today, folks, smile at people and don't take everything too personally. Catch you later. Bye.